Lamar Jackson still does not have his long-term contract. Yesterday, he dipped into Twitter to respond to some Twitter users on a variety of points. Here's one. The first comment, Lamar Jackson is a league MVP, still hasn't broken the bank. Ravens, you're on the hot seat. Give that man the $250 million guaranteed before you're ready to check your ass can't catch. Response, he wants more than that. They've already offered that. Here comes Lamar. No, they didn't.
I love it.
Lamar. I mean, it's great.
I like this
and then
part
there was
too.
A response.
Yeah.
As much as I love Lamar, a fully guaranteed deal is just bad business. Just because a horrible franchise, the Cleveland Browns, did horrible business, giving Watson that contract doesn't mean other teams should follow. Honestly, I'm hoping Lamar gets a 10-year, $500 million deal. Response, you don't love Lamar.
That's a great response. You don't love him.
and the best one was this, because, and this exchange continued. There were so many tweets to try to pick through. But the user Hitman1600 making the point, hey, look, sometimes these guys grow up in a place and they want to play for that team. And the point was made, you know, maybe Lamar grew up in South Florida, wants to play for the Dolphins. His response, I grew up a Dallas fan, but Dolphins were second, no doubt. He did not say, I'm a Raven for life. I grew up a Dallas fan, Dolphins were second. So then there also was eventually a picture of Lamar wearing the Dolphins uniform. The Photoshop skills are endless on social media. There it is. Hey, I've look, they either get this done or they don't. I know that really isn't
That's
very high
deep
level
thoughts
thinking
by
on my
Mike
part.
Florio. Either they get this done or they don't.
They're either going to get it done or they won't. But here we are, 2 weeks away, 12 days away from week 1 when the Ravens play the Jets. He has applied a week 1 deadline, and I know it's not a real deadline, but at some point you got to focus on the season. At some point, they got a 3-day break coming up after the cuts, and then they get back and they start practicing, getting ready for week 1. Lamar Jackson is going to have less time than ever once they come back from their 3-day break and start focusing on getting ready for week 1. So, and if it does not happen this year, it may never happen. There's a chance he never signs a long-term deal with the Baltimore Ravens, and he ends up in a different uniform as soon as next year.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. Again, it's still crazy where we're at in this situation. And, you know, to play off what you said there, I would think that if this doesn't get done by that 3-day break, I would think that 3-day break needs to be the time where, you know, they break some bread and try to figure out the contract here. They got to figure it out. I mean, I hope, like, you know, Lamar doesn't leave town or something like that. I hope he stays there and tries to figure this out. I want Lamar to get his money. I do. I'm a Lamar Jackson fan. He's a hell of a player. He deserves it. You know, as we know, it's weird here. It's weird. We know he was offered more guaranteed money than Kyler Murray, which he should be. He's better than Kyler Murray. He's been better than Kyler Murray. He's led his team to the playoffs, you know, every year except for last year where he got hurt at the end of the year. He's won an MVP. All right, but I think what we are finding out here a little bit is the Deshaun Watson contract is an issue. It's an issue. And
it should be.
And it's not his, like we talked about this last week, right? It's not his fault that it's an issue. I'm sorry. The dumb owner in Cleveland paid, you know, quarterback in trouble, stupid money. So he's going,
direct all complaints to
I've just done all this. I've done all of this and more than Deshaun Watson, so I should get that. And that's the problem here. He didn't set the market. You know, dumb owner in Cleveland did. I'm sorry. I'm just having fun here. I don't mean that literally, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
But it's fine. And look, here's the reality. And I think this is part of the deeper push and pull that's going on. Once is an accident, twice is a trend. Wise man once said that pretty much every week on ESPN Sunday NFL Countdown, Primetime, whatever. It was one of Chris Berman's go-to lines. So you've got the Deshaun Watson deal, 5 years fully guaranteed, $230 million. Is it an aberration or is it the start of something that's going to continue? Well, here's the Kyler Murray deal that isn't $230 million fully guaranteed. And one of the issues is, does the owner have the cash available to put the amount of money in escrow that is required by this stupid, outdated funding rule that was put in place to protect players, but now is used against them because owners don't want to put, and some of them can't put that much cash in an account to ensure that it's there. Because the idea was, hey, some of these teams may become insolvent back in the 60s, 70s, et cetera. Nobody's going broke now. There's so much TV money coming through every year. They're always going to be able to pay these guys. You don't need to put the money in escrow. But that's the pushback. That's the counter to it. So it's kind of like the third game of a 3-game series here. This is the rubber match. Does Lamar Jackson get Baltimore to do what Cleveland did, or will it be 2 in a row without a fully guaranteed deal? Then you have a stronger argument that the Deshaun Watson deal was an aberration. I still think Russell Wilson's next deal will be fully guaranteed, frankly, and maybe others, maybe Joe Burrow's as well, although I don't know that Mike Brown has the cash to put it all in escrow. But that's the key, and it's clearly one of the big messages from his tweet. He wants a fully guaranteed deal. Jay Glazer said that a week or so ago. We've talked about it. He wants, and he should. He should. I don't care how dumb the Browns were. They have crossed a river that cannot be uncrossed. And now Steve Bisciotti has to decide, do I want to swim in that river or do I want to risk not having Lamar Jackson? And it all comes down to this at the end of the day. Lamar Jackson wants a fully guaranteed deal. Okay, fine. The Ravens just say we're not going to do it. Here's the best we're going to do. And we talked about this with Roquan Smith. We've talked about it with Lamar Jackson. At some point, you get their best offer on the table, and you got to make the decision, the grown-up adult decision. Do I play for $23 million with no guarantee beyond this year, and who knows what's going to happen in 2023, or do I take the best offer they're willing to pay me? So hopefully they put their best offer on the table at some point and he can make that assessment. But there's a chance his assessment is, I'll roll the dice. I'll bet on myself. I'll bet. Guys are wired to bet on themselves because they always think they're going to win that bet.
I know. It's just, it's a risky bet. And again, I don't know what they're offering, but we know it's somewhere in between the Watson money and the Kyler Murray money. And that's just, if it's $190 million, $200 million guaranteed, wow. I wonder if he'd take the Watson deal, just plain and simple, right off if they just said 5 years, $230 guaranteed, would he take it? Or does he want even a little bit more than that? I don't know either there, but I'd be interested to know. And I also want to go, there's a lot of things here where I also want to go, wait, if you're offering $195 million guaranteed or $109, like, I don't know, then damn, just go to $230. Just go to $230 and let's get it done with. And you got your guy for the next 5 years. You don't have to worry about it. So there's a lot. It's crazy. It's crazy that we're talking about this. All I know is I do worry about Lamar. He plays a more dangerous style of football than we know just about any other quarterback in the game does. And that's where I do want him to protect himself.
Watson was at $45 million from scratch. Murray got to 45.1 new money. When you look at it, you factor in the 2 years left, it's not really $45 million at signing, but he can say he's making more than Deshaun Watson at 45.1, even though the guarantee is far less and he really isn't. So you get Lamar to 45.2, and every dollar is fully guaranteed. I would think you get that done. If you're willing to do it, they may not be willing to do it. But I'm going to try something here before we go to break.
Yeah.
I'm going to try your magic trick, okay? Now, my hands aren't as big as yours, but here's what I'm going to do, and let's see if it works. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to apply my hand. Nothing up my sleeve. I'm going to take my hand. I'm going to apply it to the microphone. And I'm going to say, Lamar Jackson, the time has come for you to recognize that you are not suited to negotiate this contract without a qualified and certified NFLPA agent. Lamar Jackson, I am calling upon you to finally admit that you need an agent and to finally hire an agent. All right, we'll see if that works. See if it works.
I like
the Chris Sims magic
trick. It worked
trick.
yesterday. You'll see if it works for you.
Grab the microphone and speak it into being. Lamar Jackson, commence the process of hiring an agent. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.